She looked photoshopped. The crowd, woo, they got going for her. These ladies were on. Welcome to the 2022 recap of Miss Universe Thailand. My name is Dani Walker. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I hope that you'll choose to subscribe and hit that notifications bell if you enjoy content like this. Make sure to stick around till the end because I'm going to give you some final thoughts about the new Miss Universe Thailand. Honestly, Miss Universe Thailand is always a great show from beginning to end. I could feel the excitement through my screen. I can only imagine what it must be like to watch this competition in person, and I hope that I'll have that opportunity one day. After introductions, they cut to a top 15, and I personally am a big fan of a top 20, especially for a finale. I really love to see more from the contestants. Also, quick shout out to the singer that was hoisted in the air that was also made to look like a butterfly with the screen in the back. Incredible, such a cool part of the show. After they narrowed to the top 15, they went straight to swim, so I'm going to talk about my thoughts for the swimsuit competition. Overall, I do want to mention that I thought that there were no bad performances for swimsuit. Not at all. These ladies were on. They were, in my opinion, even better than they were at the preliminary competition. MUT 18, oh my gosh, her gaze, you know that I am a fan of it if you've watched the other episodes. Also, she was kind of giving me Gazzini vibes here with her straight hair. Was anybody else feeling that? I'm not surprised though that this was one of my favorite performances for swim because I did think that her walk and performance for prelims was so strong. I was like, how could she not be fabulous for finals? MUT 10 was just so beautiful. She looked photoshopped. She literally looked like she was edited. I'm just like, how in the world? I need a hair and makeup lesson from her team. I liked number 28's performance. I just wish that she had more energy at the end of it. Number 27 is one of my personal faves. I just wish she had a lighter lip for this look. I don't know, something about it, I was just like, I wanted something a little more fresh for her, but I still like the performance. Number 29, that opening eye contact, the spin turn, the continued eye contact. The only thing I could have asked for after that was just a little bit more of a smile. I always say this, I'm like, I want swimsuit to be a little bit more fun and light and carefree. Number 19, stunning, stunning. The crowd, woo, they got going for her, for sure, and it's obvious why. I really liked her facials here too, and I liked her smile, smile for the swimsuit competition. This was a top performance. Number 9 had a great and very strong opening, and I loved the performance overall. This is just another example of how difficult this year was. So competitive. Number 23, love the wind in the hair. This was just strong performance after strong performance. I was so confused after watching all of these. I guess everyone's a favorite, and then I just have ultra favorites. I don't even know how to describe it. Number 2, my note, just love her. Love her. I've loved her from the beginning. Number 16, huge fan favorite. For swim for finals, I wanted to see her have some longer strides and also smile a little bit more. Number 31, I love her so much. She is just one of those contestants that I can't even describe, that I love her so much. I really want to see her represent Thailand internationally. Can she compete for Grand? Can she win Grand, please? I could see her there. I also loved the final walk that they all did around the runway, much like any professional runway show. It was a nice final look of all the contestants. Don't forget, if you're preparing for a competition, to check out my free pageant prep course that's linked in the description for extra tips. Then they cut to a top 11. I was so bummed. I was really hoping that we would get to see everybody compete in gown actually. But pageants are competitive and it is what it is. So they cut to this top 11 and it was so tough. Now for gown, I had a few standout favorites. First, MUT 10. She brought such great energy to her entrance. I mean, you could just feel her presence even from the screen. The crowd went wild. The gown choice was wonderful. I loved this gown for finals. I loved the entire look, the makeup, the styling for it. This was just powerful. That's the best way that I could describe this. And I'll also say that the music for this segment it matched so well. This song that they played, it wasn't one that I would think of for a gown competition, but it just worked really, really well. I honestly felt that she took it up 1,000% though. From prelims to finals, she got infinitely better, and I'm just wondering how. Number 19, the entire performance is just perfect. The crowd was loving it, they cheered, she was on fire, she was literally red hot for this. The posing at the end though, the facials, every part of this, I literally could not have asked for more. And I am really hoping that this is what she's going to be bringing to Miss Universe. If she does bring this, oh my gosh, how could they not be in a top 5? How? With a performance like this. Number 18, I've loved her so much. What a beautiful, unique gown. Very red carpet, very, I would say uncommon because of that star detail, but I loved it. Loved the straight hair, loved the entire look. It was just such a strong performance. Number 27, these gowns were really turned up for finals. This gown reminded me of Colombia's gown this past year for Miss Supranational, but I have to say that the first contestant that I think of in a fringe gown like this with this type of skirt, I believe her year at Miss USA was 2009. I want to say Arizona 2009 wore a metallic fringe gown, and I loved it. It was the first time that I saw something quite like that, and now we're seeing this reemergence of these styles of gowns, and I think that they're incredible. I think they look so beautiful on the pageant stage. Number 31, one of my personal faves, okay? Solid performance, really great job here, but actually I preferred her preliminary gown to the finals gown. I still love her finals gown. I think it's gorgeous. It's fabulous. It's not a bad choice, but I just would have swapped them. I don't know, I just felt like the pink seemed more like a finals gown. Can't quite put my finger on it. Number 23, that look. This gown was so elegant on her. It was just like pageantry 101, but it made her stand out from everybody else. She just was really glowing in this beautiful white gown on stage. I loved it. Number 16, this gown also, oh my gosh, when she stepped out in it, the way that it glistened on stage, and it was a very unique color. At first I was like, is this a rose gold? Is it more of like a pink tone, like a mauve? I'm not exactly sure, maybe a mixture of sequins and stoning in there, but whatever it was beautiful. The only thing I would have changed is the hairstyle. I actually would have really liked her hair styled down for this and pulled back. I think it really would have suited this gown. I have to talk about number 2, one of my favorites throughout the entire competition. I was surprised by this gown choice. She was one of the few that came out with this beautiful flowing gown, and I love when we can bring that to a competition. I think that the flowing part of it looked really, really beautiful, but what got me here is that I also think that she needed to clean up her final turn, like that transition when she was leaving. I feel like that could have affected her score. Also, I want to say this color of gown that she's wearing, we rarely see it for Miss contestants, and the place that I see it actually most successful is for younger contestants. So princess contestants, junior preteens, essentially ages 12 and under, but I haven't seen this color have much success in Miss divisions. Wow, now they cut to a top 5 and they all drew a question from the judges. So number 18 was asked, if you can think of one particular policy to support Thai schoolers to access better education, what would that be? Now, she answered in Thai, but the audience clapped a lot, so unfortunately I don't have a translation. If you want to translate that below, I'm sure everybody would greatly appreciate that. Number 10 was asked, in your opinion, do you think the government should continue reporting and updating the number of confirmed cases infected by COVID-19 to the public? Why or why not? And she says, I don't think that we should because we have been living in fear and we need to move forward together. Then number 23 was asked, in your opinion, what innovation or invention does our world need the most in order to better help women's lives in the future? And she said an invention to address breast cancer. As someone who's gone through surgery, she's very grateful to have been given a new life. Now, I don't know her personal experience and story. I'm not sure if she had an elective mastectomy or what was going on there. If you know some more details about this, feel free to share it in the comments. I think it's really interesting what she had referenced here. And then number 16 was asked, if you were the most influential leader in the country, what do you think would be the best solution to stop all wars that are currently going on around the world? Oh my goodness, what a difficult, big question. She said, I would implement policies of communication through diplomacy. Very, very well said. There's always a good way to end things. We must be united to end things so that we can have a better world. Of course, she said all of this in a much better way. I'm just summarizing. But excellent answer. Definitely solidified her place in the top 3. Then number 19. If you must put money in a donation box of only one of the following charities, which one would you choose and why? Public health, education, and the environment. Very difficult question. You're asking her to choose between some really great causes here. And so she answered in Thai, but I don't know what she said because of that. So if you know that translation, please share below. But I will say that she answered with a lot of confidence. She never stumbled through her words, and she really got the audience cheering. So that to me always says something about a contestant's answer. The other interesting thing about this is a lot of people say that if you answer your onstage questions in Thai at Miss Universe Thailand, that you won't win, that they're always looking for an English speaker, which I can understand a bit of that because speaking another language, especially English at Miss Universe, can really only help you throughout the competition. It can help you to communicate very well for your interview and for your onstage questions with your judges who primarily are English speakers. But I want to mention this because she now has proved everyone wrong. She answered in Thai and she still won the crown. So I thought that was pretty cool. Oh my gosh, and then they did these final looks of the top 5. Quick notes. I just have to say, number 23 was a moment with her look on stage. And then number 19 was just stunning. There's no other way to put that. Just, I've run out of adjectives. Now they announced the 4th runner-up, who was number 10, and then 23 was announced as the 3rd runner-up. I understand these placements. I was like, okay, I can see that for sure, dependent on their onstage questions. Then we narrowed our top 3, and they were all asked the same onstage question, which was, as our world is now facing critical issues such as wars, pandemics, economic recession, many people around the world feel hopeless. If you were crowned as Miss Universe Thailand 2022, how would you empower them? So number 19 spoke in Thai. So I'm not sure what she said, but I will just say she answered with a lot of confidence. She was very commanding when she spoke, and once again, she really got the audience cheering for her. Number 16 said that she would inspire them to prove that people can unite and move on together, to be together and stay together and unite everyone. I will say that this answer had a very similar message to her other answer, so I felt like she needed to diversify this one a little bit more and just hit on a different topic. And then number 18, she answered in Thai, so I'm not really sure how that went, but I will say that she did not have as much applause from the audience for her answer. They seemed pretty quiet after she answered. So then the results were that 18 was 2nd runner-up, and after I saw the reaction from the audience, I was like, okay, that made a lot of sense. And then number 16 was 1st runner-up, also that made sense to me for her answer, and then number 19 was the winner. But here's what I want to say about Miss Universe Thailand 2022 that I think is really important. For me, she was a standout the entire night of finals. Yes, she stood out during prelims, but finals was her night. She was shining. Now, I really am hopeful for an incredible gown for her for Miss Universe. Thailand in recent years has been bringing beautiful wardrobe, beautiful unique styles. So that's one thing I'm almost just expecting from her. But the other thing I wonder is, does she speak English? And if she does, I would highly encourage her and her team to even get her more English lessons, even if she is fluent in English, because I feel like it could just really help her out for an onstage question. One thing I want to say about contestants that go to Miss Universe and decide to speak in English is this. When we watch them on stage for like the on-stage question, they have the translator there. But I've never seen them bring a translator out for the top 20 moment when a host is interacting with the title holder. So what usually happens here is that contestants are interacting with the host and they're doing their best and they're answering the host questions in English but without that translator. And what I've seen for several years now is sometimes their interaction with the host doesn't go over as smoothly or as I think that they thought it would go over. So I really hope that in the future they bring out the translator for that host interaction, because even if it's not scored, I have felt that when the contestants interact with the host, that it can affect just the overall way a judge views that contestant. And then we see the other ones in contrast that have great host interactions that seem to just breeze by into the next round of competition. Because you have to think, once we're in that top 20, it's already so competitive and these contestants are at such a high level and at a standard. There's like very, very small differences between them that are going to allow them to move on in the competition or things that are going to hold them back. And so that's one thing that I've noticed, is that the contestants that seem to have great interactions with the host are typically the ones that are moving on to that next round. And as we've seen, they're not providing translators for that. So I feel like that is where the advantage of English speaking comes in at Miss Universe. So I hope that that's something that she'll be able to work on a bit, and if not, I really hope they start adding a translator for that portion of the competition as well. Those are my overall thoughts about the show. What did you think? What do you think about our new Miss Universe Thailand? I think she is just so stunning. I feel like she's a total package, and she has some of the strongest onstage performances that I've seen so far from the contestants that'll be competing at Miss Universe this year. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I really hope that you enjoyed it and chose to subscribe as we near 100,000 subscribers with your help. So thank you so much for watching this episode, and if you want to see some others like it, be sure to check out these other ones that I will link for you. I'm looking forward to sharing lots more Miss Universe content in the next coming months.